Now, another thing you need to know is how to break up with somebody. Right? You don't shoot them. You don't black them out. You don't steal 20 minutes to an hour of their time. So they don't know something happened or not, right? And then pretend you don't know what happened yourself when the only thing that could happen is something sexual, right? And you don't normally black out like that either. Now, if I'm telling people about this, they know what's going on, including my doctors, right? Now, if you're trying to describe it, or what's the word? Uh, Design it that it's paranoid schizophrenia, not necessarily, right? See, that's a medical opinion, not necessarily a fact, right? Well, what about the doctors who say it's not? They can be wrong, right? And that's the point, too. I got doctors on my side, too, before I got the Portsmouth, right? And then after Portsmouth, it kind of changed, right? Now, how you break up with someone or not depends on if they're doing you right or wrong, too, right? Now, you have to have the common sense to know if you want to stay in a relationship or not, right? But when you say it's over, right? To both you and the other person, male or female, right? And some are hermaphroditic in nature, right? Now, if you don't know that, you don't know that yet, and that's okay, right? But I have a right to tell you my perspective, even if you don't agree with me or we have a different perspective, right? Because this is what everyone suffering for hair loss has to do with. Too much hair. Or you want me to shave it up? Well, shave yours off first and then we'll talk about it. And post the video of it. I wasn't born yesterday, were you? Get over me. Because you're not if you're doing all this. Because you're not if you're doing all this, right? You won't admit you're wrong either when you're wrong too. See, two wrongs are both wrong, right? Not one more wrong than the other. There's no such thing, right? Well, that depends on what I knew when I met you. If we knew similar things, honey, right? We're both guilty of the same crime, right? Both had premarital sex with the other, right? That's what you're trying to say. And I'm willing to marry you. You didn't want to marry me, so okay. Or did you totally see me? You're the one with glasses on, honey. At the time, not me. Are you that far gone? You are the problem, Miss Johnson. Nobody else. Everybody else broke up with me or stayed with me. And that's the problem, too. You don't want to either be with me or commit to me yourself, or you're lying about something, right? And you know it. You know it. I don't know you to know you're lying or not, right? But if I tell you I want something and you're not what I want, it's not going to work out anyway. Get over it, right? We had sex or something. You lied to me. You tricked me. We tricked each other maybe a little bit, right? But if one side's lying more than the other side, you weren't supposed to do it either. That's what you're forgetting too. Both can't do it. Either way, you know. By lying about it, especially, you know. To lie is to die in Jesus too, right? All liars will have their part in the lake of fire, right? And John thinking he helped hurt more than he helped, right? He thinks he's helping Jesus save you when he's lying with Peter, right? Peter, James, and John, right? Saw more than the other 12, right? I mean, you know, about Jesus and still can't tell you the truth. No. And that's the problem, too, about it. You got the old in you, and you got to read it all and understand it all, or you're not understanding the damn thing, right? That's how it works, too, right? Now, if God is saying Anoki El Lo-ish, that means more than you think, right? Or want it to be, right? And the woman, when she's married, becomes Ish too. When she's married, right? And don't that sound funny, right? Ish too, right? Is what she's called when she gets married, right? Isha is what she is when she's single, right? And he's Ish, right? And he knows is another way to say it, and Nashim is how they say woman, right? These are in your dictionaries if you read it, right? But if these men who judge falsely don't read the Gnostic Gospels, they're going to hell, right? For that. You don't go to heaven for lying on people, right? You go to hell. That's why John's condemning us all with him. No. Even he's not worthy to open the seven seals except for me and Jesus, right? Only two men are telling you the seven seals, right? 2,000 years apart. 2,000 years apart. And you're using medical science to put him down. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. When medical science supports him, too, right? See, timing matters, too. When did all this happen? At a certain time and a certain time. And that's your problem. We're going to hell and we don't want to stop. And you don't want to stop yourself from going to hell. You're pretending you don't know how to, right? Another problem you're lying about is you don't pretend you don't know what you're doing wrong when everything you can be told you've been told, right? Two witnesses, Isaiah and John, are telling you you're silly certain truths in the Bible. One of them is the divine name is simply Yahuwah or Yahweh, dummy, right? And you won't say it. Now, the last mystery about the divine name is if you read it backwards, it's who he, right? Or who Vahi, right? All that means is he and she, by the way. And you're not being worthy of the truth. And you're wondering why you're fighting against each other. And you got these good people and evil people still against you, right? It's your own fault, right? A fault is something you're doing wrong that you could be doing right, but you refuse to do right. Then you're punished for it by the enemy, right? And you wonder why you're suffering for it when you're doing the wrong with you, right? See, Satan causes you to suffer, right, for your mistakes, right? All Jesus wants you to do is stop the mistake, right, the best you can and repent of it, right? The best you can. If you're with me, that's fine. That's not the problem, right? But you got to be of age between 16 to 63 at least, right? Which is my legal dating age, right? In Georgia. Now, if I leave Georgia, I got to play by different rules now. If I go to Virginia, it's 18. If I go to California, it's 18. If I go to Nevada, it's 16, right? Now, I'm telling you this to protect your children from me, right? I don't know your children. I'm home alone again. Alone again, naturally, right? Sometimes you're alone because nobody wants to really help you, right? Not the women in your life, not the men in your life. You just got to learn to help yourself, right? Don't say that. God helps those who have to help themselves, so I'm having to help myself, right? And wait for the right woman. You got me a little paranoid now that I don't know what's going on anymore, right? If I lose an hour of time, and I know I did, right? My plans were altered when I went to that store. I had to see a later movie, right? And I didn't leave the store until later on and had to see the later movie, right? That I didn't plan on seeing, right? But it was still showing that day, right? And if I remember that much detail, And then you banned me from the store. And then you banned me from the store. We did something wrong. We did something wrong. We both did. Something wrong. And we both have to admit it and move on from it, right? Until we both can face what we did to each other, right? One of us is deficient to the other, right? One of us is using the age negatively and not positively, and using my belief in finding my wife to trick me into being with him, not the other, right? Not wanting a wife, right? Either, right? Now, you can call me stinky, you can call me this, or you can call me that, but you're lying, right? You're dealing with your own thoughts. If you're smelling something when I'm around you, it's something you can't smell till I'm around you, probably, right? And it ain't necessarily me, right? It's something I smell so differently that when you smell me, you smell what you weren't smelling before, right? And gone nose blind, too, they call it, right? Right? Maybe you're the one that's nose blind, right? To what you're doing wrong yourself, right? See, the smells you're around, you're used to, but when you smell something fresh and new and inviting, right? And you're used to the old smell, it's gonna suddenly pop up, right? Again, right? That's the problem, too, right? If you're smelling life and you're all around death, well, of course, death stinks, right? Life smells good, right? So I forgive you, but move on, right?